Urban legends that actually happened. Do they really exist? Or are they just figments of the human imagination, destined to remain mere urban legends? Are these rumors ultimately good or evil? Tonight, once again, we'll examine whether they're true or not from a Japanese perspective. Title: Urban Legends That Turn Out to Be True. 8 Real Cases You Won't Believe. 1. Introduction. When the crazy story turns out to be real, we have covered many urban legends before. iPhone myths, mysterious videos, unsolved murders. Most of those legends are false, exaggerated, or unproven. But today is different. Today, I am going to tell you about urban legends that turn out to be true. Stories that people dismissed as crazy conspiracy theories, paranoid fantasies, or simple hoaxes, only to later discover that the story was real. Sometimes the truth is stranger and worse than fiction. In the next 30 minutes, I will present 8 cases where a widely circulated urban legend was confirmed by official investigations, declassified documents, or whistleblower testimony. These are not ghost stories. These are documented facts. A warning: some of these cases involve government secrecy, corporate cover-ups, and disturbing events. Listener discretion is advised. Let us begin with a legend that became so famous it has its own name and its own declassified files. The CIA experimented with LSD, sometimes giving it to subjects without their knowledge. They set up brothels to test drugs on prostitutes' clients. They subjected prisoners, mental patients, and even CIA employees to electroshock, sensory deprivation, and psychological torture. The most famous victim, Frank Olson, a CIA biologist who was secretly given LSD in 1953. 9 days later, he fell or was pushed from a 10th-story New York hotel window. The CIA claimed suicide. Decades later, the agency apologized to the family. Why it became known? In 1975, the Church Committee, a U.S. Senate investigation, subpoenaed CIA records. The CIA's director at the time, Richard Helms, ordered the destruction of most MKUltra files. But some survived. The investigation revealed shocking details. The legacy: MKUltra became the reason many people distrust government health and research programs. And it was not a theory, it was documented fact. Verdict: 100% true. The legend was correct. 3. Case number 2. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study. The government as killer. The legend. A rumor persisted for years that the U.S. government had deliberately let black men die of syphilis without treatment, just to study the progression of the disease. People called it genocide. The truth: the legend underestimated the reality. The Tuskegee Syphilis Study ran from 1932 to 1972. By the end, 28 men had died directly of syphilis, 100 more had died of related complications, and 40 wives had been infected. At least 19 children were born with congenital syphilis. How it was exposed? In 1972, a whistleblower named Peter Buxton went to the Associated Press. The story made national headlines. The study was shut down within months. In 1997, President Clinton formally apologized to the survivors. Verdict: true. One of the darkest chapters in American medical history. 4. Case number 3. The CIA's Operation Midnight Climax. The legend: the government ran secret brothels where prostitutes drugged clients for mind control experiments. The truth: this was a subprogram of MKUltra called Operation Midnight Climax. In the 1950s and 1960s, the CIA set up safe houses in San Francisco and New York that functioned as brothels. Prostitutes were hired, some knowingly, some not, to lure unsuspecting men back to the safe house, where they were secretly given LSD or other drugs and observed through one-way mirrors. The goal: study how drugs affected people under sexual arousal and stress. The men never knew. Their health records show no follow-up care. Many likely died never knowing they had been part of a government experiment. Verdict: true. Declassified documents confirm every detail. 5. Case number 4. The Philadelphia experiment, the one that might be true the legend. In 1943, the U.S. Navy supposedly made a destroyer escort ship, the USS Eldridge, invisible using Einstein's unified field theory. The ship teleported from Philadelphia to Norfolk, Virginia, and back. Some crew members were fused into the ship's hull. Others went insane. The truth: this legend is partially true, but not in the way the story says. There was a real Navy project in the 1940s called Project Rainbow, which investigated ways to make ships invisible to magnetic mines. The technology involved degaussing, reducing the ship's magnetic signature. There were experiments in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. No teleportation, no men fused into metal. Why the legend persists: a man named Carlos Allende, also known as Carl Allen, wrote letters describing the teleportation to a UFO researcher in the 1950s. His story changed over time. He was later found to have a history of mental illness. But his letters were published and became the foundation of the Philadelphia experiment legend. The twist: in 2000, a former Navy officer named Edward Dudgeon claimed he had been ordered to remove a book on Einstein's unified field theory from the Naval Library in 1943, and that the Eldridge's logbook was missing classified pages. Other researchers found evidence that the USS Eldridge did not even exist until after the supposed teleportation date, but misidentification of a similar ship is possible. Verdict: officially a hoax, but a handful of researchers still believe something classified happened that has never been fully declassified. For this list, it is listed as unconfirmed but persistent. 6. Case number 5. The Project MKUltra LSD experiments on the public. The legend: the CIA distributed LSD to unsuspecting people in bars, cafes, and even on the street, just to see what would happen. The truth: yes, this actually happened. In Operation Midnight Climax, prostitutes drugged clients. In other cases, CIA agents would add LSD to the drinks of colleagues or random people at parties. One famous incident: CIA scientist Frank Olson, mentioned earlier, was given LSD without his knowledge while at a retreat, then died days later. The CIA also ran experiments in which LSD was secretly administered to prisoners, mental patients, and even terminally ill cancer patients, without their consent. Verdict: true and well documented. 7. Case number 6. The poison Halloween candy. Myth: mostly false, but one true case the legend. Every Halloween, parents warn: check your children's candy for poison, razors, or needles. Most people believe this is a modern myth, that no child has ever been killed by a stranger's poisoned Halloween candy. The truth: the legend is almost completely false. Almost. There is one confirmed case. In 1974, an 8-year-old boy named Timothy O'Brien died after eating a pixie sticks laced with cyanide. His father, Ronald Clark O'Brien, had given him the candy. The father had taken candy from several houses, laced one with cyanide, and given it to his own son to collect life insurance money. He was convicted and executed in 1984. So a stranger did not poison the candy. A father killed his own son. But the poisoned Halloween candy, urban legend, has this single true origin. Other true contamination cases: needles and pins have occasionally been found in Halloween candy. But in every verified case, it was either a hoax by the child or a family member, or contaminated by accident during manufacturing. No child has been seriously injured by a stranger's tampered candy in the U.S. since at least the 1970s. Verdict: the legend is 99% false, but the 1974 case made it believable. 8. Case number 7. The supermarket barcode tracks your purchases. Now completely normal, the legend. In the 1970s and 1980s, a rumor spread that supermarket barcodes were not just for pricing. They were part of a government system to track every item you buy, creating a database of citizens' consumption habits. Privacy advocates warned of a surveillance state. The truth: the legend was ahead of its time, but correct. Barcodes were first used commercially in 1974 at a Marsh supermarket in Ohio. They were indeed designed to track inventory and speed checkout, not as a government surveillance tool. However, loyalty cards, introduced in the 1980s and 1990s, linked your purchases to your name and address. Today, Amazon, Walmart, and Target build detailed consumer profiles using that data. So the legend that barcodes would enable purchase tracking was dismissed as paranoid in the 1970s. But in 2024, that is exactly how retail works. Your purchases are tracked, analyzed, and sold to advertisers. Verdict: the fear was correct, even if the mechanism was originally just for inventory. 9. Case number 8. The Coca-Cola secret formula, not a legend, the legend. Coca-Cola's recipe is a closely guarded secret, locked in a vault, known only to 2 executives at a time, and never written down fully. People thought this was marketing hype. The truth: it is actually true. The original formula from 1886, created by John Pemberton, is stored in a vault at the World of Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta. The vault is made of steel and concrete, with multiple locks, biometric scanners, and a video surveillance system. Only 2 surviving copies exist, and the company policy is that no single person knows the complete formula. In 2011, a website claimed to have found an old newspaper with the original recipe. Coca-Cola did not comment, but the secrecy around the formula is real and has been maintained for over 135 years. Verdict: true. One of the oldest intentional corporate urban legends that turn out to be real. 10. Bonus: the FBI kept files on innocent people. True. Massively understated. The legend: for decades, activists warned that the FBI and CIA kept secret files on Americans who were not suspected of crimes, just for having left-wing political views. Many thought this was exaggeration. The truth: it was an understatement. From the 1950s to the 1970s, J. Edgar Hoover's FBI ran COINTELPRO, a program to disrupt, misdirect, and neutralize political dissidents. They spied on Martin Luther King Jr., tried to destroy his marriage, and even suggested he commit suicide. They kept files on millions of Americans, not because they were criminals, but because they were civil rights activists, anti-war protesters, or simply writers critical of the government. Declassified documents prove every detail. Verdict: true. The legend was real, and the reality was worse. What does this teach us? First, some of the most disturbing conspiracy theories turned out to be true. Governments and corporations have lied, experimented on citizens, and covered up atrocities. Second, a true urban legend is often different from the popular version. The poison candy legend is true, but not how people imagine it. The Philadelphia experiment legend has a tiny kernel of reality, real Navy degaussing experiments, but not teleportation. Third, never dismiss a story just because it sounds crazy. MKUltra sounded crazy. Tuskegee sounded like paranoid racism. They were both real. Final thoughts: the phrase urban legend usually means false story. But today, we have seen that some of the most persistent legends are actually true, or at least based on truth. The lesson is not to believe everything. The lesson is to investigate. And to remember that governments and corporations have secrets they do not want you to know. Thank you for listening to this 30-minute overview of urban legends that turn out to be true. Stay curious and a little skeptical, because sometimes the legend is the truth. Good night. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.